Deep inside the mine, Thomas went up and down, round and about. And the water roared around him. Sir Topham drove and drove to every lookout point. High in the hills, the narrow-gauge engines puffed and peered. But no one could find Thomas. Sir Topham stood by the tumble tower. Everyone was tired. Everyone had tried their hardest. But there was no sign of Thomas. "Sir, we have to find Thomas," peeped Percy. "He found Great Waterton. It's his town. We can't have the opening without him." All the engines agreed. "You're quite right, Percy," boomed Sir Topham. "We must find Thomas." Stanley also knew how important Thomas was. He chuffed away thoughtfully. Stanley arrived at the sidings. A train of freight cars was waiting for him. But Stanley wasn't thinking about freight cars. He was thinking about Thomas. Stanley thought back to the day when Thomas saw him pulling Annie and Clarabel. And he remembered the evening at Tidmouth Sheds, when Thomas was upset because Stanley was in his berth. Then Stanley remembered Thomas's face after the accident. "Thomas isn't a bad engine. He's a sad engine," Stanley puffed slowly. "I wonder if he has run away because he thinks no one likes him anymore. Maybe Thomas is hiding up in the hidden hills. I'll look for him there. I must tell him we all miss him." And Stanley whooshed away to the hills. In the dark tunnel, Thomas was very scared. He was washed and waved forward. His fire had gone out and his boiler was cold. Stanley was high up in the hills. "Where are you, Thomas? We miss you," he whistled. But only his echo came back. "We miss you." The river was rushing, and Thomas whooshed with it, off into the darkness. Suddenly, he crashed through a thick wall of bushes. He flew across a ravine and hit the ground with a bump. Thomas slid down a hill. Trees and rocks were everywhere. "Help!" Thomas cried. At last, Thomas slithered to a stop at the bottom of the hill. He was stuck. Thomas saw he had landed next to an old track. "But how am I going to get onto it?" he cried. Thomas could do nothing but wait and hope. Stanley had looked everywhere. He couldn't find Thomas. Soon he would have to go back to work at Great Waterton. Thomas was thinking about Great Waterton. He thought about the tower, and the moment Stanley's freight car smashed into it, and the tower tumbled down. I wish I hadn't made Stanley pull all those freight cars. I didn't like him doing my jobs, and now look where I am. I'm a very silly engine, he puffed sadly. Thomas wished he was back with his friends.